Nothing happens accidentally in our lives or in the world. I was doing some research on that, and it said, there was a debate on that. Some people said, "No, things happen. There are some random events and all of that." I don't believe that. I believe that we don't live in a random universe, that we're all connected and we come into the world with purpose. But we also have to develop what is within us because we all have different genetic codes and different ideas and different beliefs and histories and all of that. But when we look at the world from this scientific standpoint about all the energies, because everything is energy, there's debates about that, but I've proven it because that's my life. So I can't say that that's doesn't make sense. I can't say that it's random. I used to try to do that. A car accident, for instance. Oh, that was an accident. I didn't think that. I had a couple of them, and I knew that that wasn't an accident. It was guidance for me to move in another direction in my life that I was resistant, that I wasn't going to do. And there were so many other things. Why did I have um, failures in my businesses and all of that? Well, I wasn't willing to go in the direction that I wanted, that I was being guided. See, I also know that every single person has this intuition that we sometimes hear, we sometimes listen to, but most times we ignore or we think we might not be believing ourselves or we're a little nuts or whatever it might be, but we all have it. And what is happening in the world at this time is not accidental either. It is all energy, and it's old energy, basically, because something is happening in our civilization that we're trying to create something better. And the only way that happens is if each person or more people decide that they're going to let go of what was old and embrace what was new within them. We all evolve. We all evolve. I believe that every person has this divine plan of their life that if they were to follow it, they have joy. They put love into the world and they love themselves. But a lot of times we have to work through all of the old programming, which is what you've heard with every single course or mentor, or anybody talking about its mindset. But another thing I did yesterday, I went and did a search on the universe is mental. And that goes back to any religion, any kind of thought that you can think of says the universe is mental. What does that mean? It means that we only experience ourselves through our thoughts, and it's our thoughts are creative. And if we get a hold of our individual thoughts and create something that we want, that we are loving about ourselves, then we're putting a different energy into the world. But when we refuse to do that, we have a very different experience in our lives and in the world. And I've experienced all of that. I was doing my group today and I showed them in 2016, there's a process that I give them all to envision something, where they're going, what they're going to create, and they write it out. And I said, the reason I do these things is because I've done them and I know that they work. We create through our thoughts if we can break through the restrictions and limitations. And I had so many of them. And so when in 2016, I knew, I sat down and I wrote what I called my mission statement. I said, I have done everything in my life. I have moved through so much. And I knew that because of that, I could give others so much more. Now, I spent years trying to figure out how I was going to do that because I had to, just kind of get a grip on what was happening. And then in 2021, I knew how I was going to do it, but I still had to test it. I still had to kind of figure it out and believe that that is what has happened. But it had to have been something, because how could I have done everything I have in my life unless I had received this cosmic guidance, this other information that caused me to do everything, to heal my life in every kind of physical way? Our mind-body connection is so incredibly powerful. We were going through that today because I'm going to put more of that information into my work because I've done so much of it, and I'm going to bring a new awareness to that, because we can heal. When we move through our limitations, our restrictions that we've had within us, we can heal. And the same thing would be happening in our world if more of us did that. I wrote a song with a friend in 1987, actually, 1986, called Help the World to Mend. Now, I didn't know why I was writing it then, why we were doing that then, but it is so incredibly appropriate now. And the reason I'm saying that is that we all have ideas. We have something that we want to do, but then we go through that doubt and we don't do it. And that is an energy that keeps us hidden, that keeps us stuck in our lives. And I know that because I did it so much. But today I'm going to share something else with you so I can show you how there is nothing that is accidental. I got up this morning and I'm hearing very clearly, oh, find the channeling session you did 2 years ago, 2021. And it was on November 4th of 2021. And I listened to it and I said, wow, everything is there. Everything that's happening in the world was there. It talked about wars. The wars hadn't started at that time when this information came through. And as I've said many times, I receive precognitive information. Seems a little crazy, but that's what I've done. I write it every day and I put it down because what I'm doing is helping to uplift our planet. And I know I can do it because I've done it in my life. Now, I understand that most people won't do what I'm doing because there's this embarrassment, this shame, this that we don't want to look at. And when we don't look at that, we keep killing people. That's what I'm talking about. The thing that happens, the energy that's in the world is cumulative. And if we have gone through things in our past, our ancestors, whatever it is, if we're not willing to let go of that, we keep fighting with everyone else and mainly with ourselves. The only fights that we really have are with ourselves because that's where we live. The universe is within us and we each come to do something different. What was so different for me, and I just have to tell you that I received information. That's what healed my life. I received this guidance, this cosmic information. But then what happened is I received specific information for this transition in our world, because it's not done. It's going to keep moving. And until more of us start to really want to love ourselves and love others, we keep creating more drama. And so my mission is taking as many people as possible as I can to living the best life that they can. And that's why I opened my program again, 4 weeks to your best life. See, because that's changed lives already. And if more people did that, wow, would things be different? But that's what I'm talking about. What I would love for you to do, though, the reason I'm doing this video, I want you to hear that channeling session because it'll explain everything. It'll explain how this information came through me. It'll explain everything. We have a connection of consciousness that is always available. It never goes away. It's always here. We just evolve over different times. But there are certain times in our history, our civilization, where periods look like this because we're making a big change. We're making a huge evolutionary shift. And the way that we make it better is when we decide to become happy, prosperous, love ourselves, and move through all the old stuff. And that's the work that I'm doing. So, but enjoy this session because it will give you some peace. We're going to see things in the next few weeks that are going to be a little upsetting for many of us, but I'm saying that it's a great opportunity for us to make our lives better and cause the world to become what we want it to be. That's all we're doing.